What's up, AMP, and what's up, everybody listening on podcast, YouTube, whatever. This is Snaps, one of your favorite daily college football podcasts. I'm one of your hosts, T-Bob Hebert, joined as always this time live from Athens with Mr. Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up,
What's
man?
up? What's up, everyone? I think I need some lighting when I come to Athens. I think that we're missing that. So, sorry to our producer Brum. Maybe they can work some editing on the back end.
I think you look great. I think you look great. I have a collared shirt on, which, like,
I don't know.
Isn't it weird how sometimes you wear things and you just don't feel normal in them and you just feel like I'm playing a part? Anytime I put anything resembling a golf polo on, that's how I feel.
Stand up and act like you're hugging someone like Sam Pittman to see what
Yeah.
the
Yep. Oh, God. Those are looking pretty titty, dude. I'm not going to lie. Those aren't looking great, but they are better. They are better. You know, the MyFitnessPal is coming along great. Not going to be great tomorrow night when me and Aaron go get Mexican food and eat a ton of queso. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. Because Aaron's coming to town, coming to Baton Rouge to call the game this weekend. Aaron, this entire show over the next hour, all we're going to do is break down LSU Grambling. What are you seeing out of the film?
I talked to Grambling coaches all morning and they are ready to go. They smell blood in the water, T-Bob.
They feel
like LSU soft. They saw them get bitched over and over again in the fourth quarter for Florida State, and they're going to do the same damn thing to them. Grambling State by 20.
Yeah. Seriously though, give me one LSU takeaway from what you saw out of their film.
They look good in the first half.
They did look good in the first half. I told you.
Golly, I was rewatching it yesterday. The coach's copy. I'm like, man, like I see the identity of what this team can be. Especially on the offense side of the football, like it's hard to judge on defense because Harold Perkins is going to be in a different spot. They would be bad coaches.
Okay. So to that point, Omar Spates today has a quote. I think this week we're going to put Harold Perkins outside the box and let him be him. Oh, wow. Like, what the fuck? How did you get out of camp and not feel that? But whatever.
Even the Grambling State coaches are kind of like, yeah, I think that we're probably going to see him more defensive end we saw last year compared to what we saw in the past game. And then you get, the big guy Mason Smith back at tackle. Yeah. So like, I'm not even worried about that side as much because I think it's going to look significantly better. But what I saw in the first half from the offense, I think I still have the belief this is going to be the team in Atlanta facing Georgia for the SEC championship game.
Oh, okay. There we go. Aaron, a bit more bullish. I think they're right underneath that. I think they're very good. I think they're like a 10 to 15 in the country range. But you're not really an Alabama believer. So I'm more of an Alabama believer. Ugh, I hate what this show does to me sometimes. All right. So on today's show, though, this is how we generally do our Thursday shows. We just talk games. Okay. Just a couple of bros talking ball. And so we're gonna highlight all the big matchups from this weekend, which again, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Me and Jay keep having this argument on my morning show. The week 2 slate has good games because it's college football. We love college football. We're going to dive into these games. It still should be better. Like it should be better. This is a pretty pathetic slate for the second week in a row, but whatever. If you're listening to this show, you're like us, you love it. You're a nerd. So that's cool. Brum hit the nail on the head.
At every slot, though, at least there's 2 games at every time slot that I can at least watch 2 screens and be entertained for the day.
Yeah. I mean, duh. But I mean, I watch 5 games all the time and I'm entertained. And we watch Texas Tech, Wyoming and all that. Let's get to our YouTube opening comments of the day. Remember, we're trying to hit 5K YouTube subscribers by the end of the weekend. Please, y'all, if you're coming across the channel, like it, subscribe, help out the boys here. And I'm going to read yesterday's comment because I forgot to. JT Laffridge says, love the show. Hey, Aaron, why does your face always look like you're trying not to burst out laughing?
You work with T-Bob and you try not to laugh the entire time.
Fair. And then that's followed up. I mean, to your point, Scott Zola, the comment follows that up with, man said Sam Titman with a bunch of crying emojis, which, if you looked up the picture, which we had quite a lot of fun off air yesterday, breaking down the Sam Titman picture. And again, take somebody with boobs to call somebody with boobs. I can say that, okay, as I have boobs as well. So this is not like a punching down situation. Real quick before we get into games this weekend, though, Aaron, Caleb Williams' dad came out yesterday. It's starting to make the rounds, basically saying, look, there's no guarantee that Caleb's going to declare for the NFL draft, right? I talked to Archie. Archie talked about having his career ruined by going to the New Orleans Saints. I talked to Kyler Murray. I talked to Baker Mayfield, and the wrong situation can be bad, right? And thanks to NIL, like there's a world where Caleb Williams could return for another year of USC and wait and see if he likes the other team picking number one more next.
It's a big risk.
What's your reaction to this?
That's a big risk. I mean, but you look at the Cardinals. If the Cardinals are one, like we all kind of view Arizona at the moment, and we kind of seems like they're tanking for Caleb, which I would do the same damn thing if I was them as well. But you had Josh Rosen, he's gone, first round pick. Now, then you get Murray.
That might have been the worst pick of the last 20 years.
I know. I liked him too. That's one I missed pretty bad. Not gonna lie. And then you get Kyler Murray, and then you're trying to get rid of him as well. So right now, your track record, the last two quarterbacks who have been first round picks, you're trying to find ways to get them the hell out of Scottsdale, Arizona. So yeah, like this isn't the primetime destination. It's kind of like what we talked about with CJ Stroud going to Houston. Like, do you really want to be going to Houston? Probably not. And he's there right now trying to figure out if Houston can produce a winning quarterback. So at the end of the day, do I see him staying for his fourth year? Hell no. No chance. Because you're rolling the dice of who's going to be that number one pick the following year. Can it get much worse? Probably not, but you're still rolling the dice that it's not maybe an even a slightly better situation. You lose all that money, chance of injuries. I mean, so many bad things could go wrong. So many bad things go wrong. And I don't think you're going to improve your quality of life that much better. And anyways, it's Scottsdale, Arizona. You can't ask for a better place to live. Come on. Especially at the money.
Aaron, some people care more about more stuff in life than just women and partying. Okay. Some people want to win football games. Well, I don't care about the women that much. I've been, with my wife since I was 16, but I do love to party. So it's a fair point that you make. I'm with you. This feels like bluster. And when push comes to shove, I don't think a number one overall pick is going to say no. But there are two interesting nuggets that I would draw here. First off, Archie Manning did get his career ruined by the Saints. Yep. And then by forcing his son out of San Diego, I don't think anyone can say that he made the wrong choice. No. I mean, right? Eli Manning goes on to win 2 Super Bowls. So that is interesting. But secondly, because of NIL, there is actual leverage here for Caleb Williams. If he really wanted to go through with this, you can shake your head all you want. But remember how John Elway got out of going Baltimore back in the day, going to the Colts? Because John Elway had baseball as leverage. Caleb Williams, he won't have it next year, but he could use returning to college potentially as leverage against a team if he doesn't like the situation. So,
he has to make the decision in January if he's going to declare for the NFL draft or come back. The difference with Elway is he literally could have just said, no, screw it, I'm not playing football anymore. I'll just go play baseball.
Yes. So the timing of it is different, but who's going to be, you know who's going to be the first pick come January, right? And so you could get in touch with those teams, say, hey, if you draft him, we're holding out, we're not coming, we're not doing it, or we're not going to enter the draft if you're planning on drafting. And then I guess maybe though they say they're not, and then they do.
Yeah, then they get, well, if he doesn't, then he's hurting himself. They'll just go pick Drake May. It's like Arizona, if they're at the first pick in the draft, I'll look at him and laugh and say, unless you're going to pull an Eli Manning, that's the only way. Like NIL and him saying, oh, I'm going to stay in college, Arizona. If you decide you're going to pick me, I'm not leaving. I'm going to make $3 million in college. They're like, okay, whatever, we'll take Drake. Like, you're hurting yourself. You don't have the leverage. You can, yes, make money and still live a really good life as a quarterback for USC, but you are throwing away NFL quarterback number one pick in the draft type money to back another year to possibly get hurt. I don't buy it. Like,
yeah, unless you're the number one pick again next year.
Yeah, but you're rolling the dice that you stay healthy and that the team that's going to be number one in the draft next year, who, guess what? If you're the first pick in the draft, you're pretty shitty. So then you're just going to go to another not so great team anyway. So more risk on his part. If you're going to do anything, do the Manning route, Eli Manning route. Figure out if you can say, no, I don't want to be with you. And maybe they'll figure something else out and end up, saying, hey, we actually wanted Drake anyways, and we got a deal out of it with some other team.
And the counter argument to the Archie example and everything would be somebody like Joe Burrow, who went to Cincinnati, who was hot garbage forever, and now they're awesome, right? So just be good enough to make it work, I guess. I do think, though, there is an element, if you just love college football, you shouldn't hate this because this shows you that, like, more talent will be staying in college. If you're like a borderline second round to first round guy, you'll have no, because first round makes way more fucking money than second round. So let's say you're 2-3 potential to move to the first round. You're going to tell me that you're not making good enough NIL money. We're like, okay, I'm going to come back a year and I'm going to see if I can get in that first round. I think you're crazy if you think that it's not going to affect some situations like that.
Guys that are on that borderline, their agents are calling them saying, you know what, I think you are going to go in the first round. Like, I think it's more of a guy that's a second, third, and beyond are the ones that are going to think about it. But if you're like a first,
I just said second and third round guys.
No, you said first, second round. Like, if you don't have a chance to be picked in the first round because the money drops off so much the second
and
round.
then I quickly amended it to second, third.
No, you didn't.
If you're second round guy, play me the fucking tape. I said second, third with the potential to move into first.
Brum, did he say first, second?
Brum's not even listening. He's probably looking at pictures of Sam Titman right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're getting bogged down. We actually agree then. I'm saying if you're a second, third round prospect,
it is better for college football.
Then you can now make money and say, you know what? I'm going to come back, make this NIL money, and then make myself into a first rounder. And maybe you don't, but like it's a pathway you can go now. So maybe much ado about nothing. Let's get into games everybody wants to talk about here. And we got to start with Big Noon Saturday. Hard to overstate what a win the Big Noon Saturdays have been for Fox here. Shout out Coach Prime hooking Fox up. This time it's Nebraska versus Colorado. We talked about the pressure on Colorado. Now let's talk about the football. Here are the key questions I have for the Buffs. First, Aaron, and you answer this. Is the run defense as bad? Is the run defense as bad as it appeared to be at times against TCU? Because to me, if I'm going full corn hub here and I'm trying to find the path to winning for Colorado, it is by muddying this shit up. Muddy this shit up, make it disgusting, move the clock run game where you're converting like 3rd and 2s and the clock isn't stopping. You like Nebraska in this game?
I'm saying you mean Nebraska by muddying up the game.
Oh, my bad. Yes, excuse me. I misspoke. I mean, yes, this is if I'm Nebraska, this is how I'm winning the game. So my question to you is, do you think that Colorado front can stop Nebraska's rushing attack?
They're gonna have to they're gonna have to sell out straight up. Like, to me, the way that Colorado wins this football game, and then I'll kind of go the reverse for Nebraska on this side of the football. So Nebraska offense, Colorado defense. Colorado's got to put 7-8 guys in the box. Just say we got great DBs. We are the more athletic team. Like, if this was a 7-on-7 football game, Colorado would mop them up in 2 quarters. Like, they have the better athletes, receivers, DBs, the quarterback, all of that. That is their strength. So if you trust your corners on the outside with against an average quarterback that has not shown us that he's an accurate quarterback, and this dates back to his time at Georgia Tech, I'm going to man them up. I'm going to press them. And I'm going to put every other dude engage 8. For those who know what engage 8 at the line of NCAA. Welcome back next year. And we're just going to sell it for the run. That's what you have to do. And for Nebraska standpoint, I don't even think you mess around with saying, oh, it's man on man. Let's throw the football. I think you say, listen, we're going to take advantage of the new clock rules. We're going to just milk the clock as much as we can. We're going to keep Colorado's offense off the field. And our quarterback, Jeff Sims, who ran the ball 19 times last week for about 91 yards, is going to run the ball 30
times. Make it 30. Make it 30. A clean 30.
30
I want to see Jeff Sims throw the ball. You know what's crazy about this game?
Not me.
The cheapest ticket to get in here is what, like $300 or $400? Last year or whenever it was, a couple of years ago, you saw Nebraska fill out Colorado's stadium. They ended up losing the game, but it was still impressive. So, like, if you're listening to this and you're a fan, you're looking to go to the game of the weekend, I want to remind you that the best way to get tickets to any of the games that we're going to talk about today is on Game Time. But T-Bob, what's Game Time? Hello, the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States. And again, look, pretty last minute, amazing deals on tickets to your favorite college team, your favorite pro team this September. You want to download Game Time. And again, it's not just about college or pro football. We're talking baseball games, concerts, comedy shows. Game Time has your back covered all across the country. So all you do is download the Game Time app and you redeem code SNAPS for $20 off your first purchase. That's SNAPS. How about that, guys? That's how Snaps is spelled. Snaps. That's going to be your code for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the Game Time app. Code SNAPS. $20 off no matter where you live. Get out there and have some fun this week. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Shout out Game Time. So I'm with you. I'm running Sims like 30 times this game. Nebraska's D-line impressed me, Aaron, not just because some of the success they have, but I think that was a really good Minnesota offensive line. Like if Callie McManus was better, I think Minnesota wins that game pretty comfortably, right? Like Minnesota's quarterback play was nothing to write home about, but that O-line was really good. So I want to see, can Shadur Sanders overcome this Nebraska front seven, which probably promises to cover him or to pressure him more, but I don't know. At the end of the day, don't overcomplicate it. It's football. Look at what you saw out of Shadur. Look at what you saw out of Jeff Sims. That's the difference. You saw one quarterback play some of the most mistake-free football ever, while you saw another one make, like, the errors that Jeff Sims made weren't just bad. They were almost, Baxter, you ate the whole wheel of cheese. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed in how bad they were.
No, I was not impressed.
It was so bad that it's impressive. Like you can't train your entire life and still make those decisions and those throws that he did in those crucial spots. Like it was awful.
His whole career. So it's not impressive. It's just the norm. Like that is the norm for Jeff Sims, which is why if you can somehow learn the triple option in a week, Nebraska should learn the triple option and just run that the entire game. Like that to me is it. Like I go back to my original point. You have better athletes at Colorado. And you have to be praying, and you're on the road. Let's not forget, like this is in Colorado. You're dealing with altitude.
Maybe 50-50 though. We'll see. But well, yeah, you will have altitude. I'm thinking it may be 50-50. I'm not convinced what the crowd composition is going to be. That's all I'm saying. Because Nebraska's traveled very well to this game.
No, Colorado fans have been eating up tickets since Deion became head coach.
Okay, we'll see.
No chance. This will be mostly Colorado fans in that stadium. They have the better athletes, and I don't think you can, the thought process of let's make Colorado one-dimensional throwing the football just it plays right into their hands, and I think they have enough skill at the running back position too to run it against light boxes. Like this is just not a good matchup for Nebraska on either side. This isn't. Nebraska needs to play football games against teams like Minnesota, who want to play slow, who want to run the football, who have just a bunch of big slobbery dudes that just want to punch each other in the mouth. Like that's the type of thing you can match up with. You can't match up with speed. You can't match up with athleticism. You can't match up with an elite quarterback. This is a terrible matchup for Colorado. I see no chance in them winning this football game, or for Nebraska. I see no chance in Nebraska winning this football game, and no chance they cover the spread either.
Too many white guys? Sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Too many white guys.
Way too many white guys.
Hey,
like white guy alert there, white guy alert there, white guy alert there.
Yeah.
Your head's gonna be like,
look, as the main leader of the Corn Hub, we're not gonna let this get us down. Okay. Like you said, the Corn Hub is well suited for Big Ten ball. Not whatever this Pac-12 wide open passing attack is. I want two corn-fed 350-pound dudes just mashing each other all night long. So we're in agreement here. I think Colorado wins this and covers.
I think that the one concern for everyone is, which is crazy to think about, because being in the state of Georgia, all I hear is complacency. Is Georgia going to be complacent this year? We're fighting against complacency. Is Colorado already fighting against complacency after one win? And I agree with you. I say no to that because of who their coach is. Deion has been one of the most successful athletes of all time. He knows what it's like to be on the top of the mountain and continue to perform at a high level over and over and over and over again. So his message in that locker room, to me, gives me confidence that you won't see a team that all of a sudden feels like they arrived because they're number 22 in the country. They won a big game. Spotlights on them. They have two guys that are in the Heisman consideration after 1 week. Like, I think you're going to continue to see a Colorado team, if they stay healthy, continue to get better.
And also, did you see how jealous I got whenever Joel Klatt compared Deion Sanders to Nick Saban?
No, what'd he say?
He goes, I know this sounds crazy, but Deion has more in common with Nick Saban than you'd think.
That was on Colin's show, wasn't it?
On Colin's show.
I don't disagree. I mean, I know that's hyperbolic, but like,
but it's the perfect amount of hyperbolic because you know what he said. He said,
He has the ability, obviously, to motivate at elite level, command focus at elite level.
And has 3 decades of success.
That's what I'm saying. He's a fucking NFL Hall of Famer. Like, that's what we
Yeah.
cannot ever lose sight of. This man knows what it takes to win on every single level of football, both individually and as a team. I would say that I'm not worried about them focus because there's a lot of people that want Colorado to lose. And that is very motivating.
We have overblown this. I think the Deion haters and the people that want to see Colorado fail is overblown. Is there? I don't think so. I don't think so.
You're super wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like Deion's quote when he's talking about being a brash black man, he firmly implanted himself, and he's already been there in the culture war.
That's how all takes work. One side rises and it must be equal.
No. It's like the force. Yes, the force. There has to be balance in the force. And too many people have been loving on Deion and Colorado this week.
I am glad you have cleansed your internet timeline to where you see none of this, Aaron, but you are incorrect.
You have a very wholesome timeline.
Yeah. It's just it is the negative people are always the loudest. I think more people are enjoying the ride.
Okay. Let's let Colorado lose this weekend and see if you're right about that. I think you're a fucking psychopath if you really believe that. All right.
Make sure you tune in to Snaps on Saturday because T-Bob and I will be live in person doing a post-game breakdown of this matchup. So make sure you're ready. Win or lose. Whoever wins the game, doesn't matter. We will be doing a live show actually in person from T-Bob's beautiful little studio. So make sure you get ready for that right after the game. Jump on YouTube and hang out with us.
Hopefully the AC will be fixed by then because it's hot in here. Next on the list, Texas and Alabama. Now this is a premier matchup. Okay, this is what gets the loins in a bit here. You all, if you listen to the show, pretty much know my feelings on this game. I believe a more physical Alabama is better than a more finesse Alabama. I think the game is in T-Town. I think it's shocking how little credence we seem to be giving to the fact that the game is in T-Town. Aaron, challenge of the day. Name me one big game Sark has won at Texas.
None.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So I mean, maybe Oklahoma last year. I
got another great stat for you.
Neutral site, no quarterback.
What's Alabama in their last 53 games at home?
51-2 with losses to LSU twice.
52-1. Only one loss during that time.
Okay, there you go. Wow. Okay. Jesus. Okay. Thank you. Weird. You just okay. What kind of little reverse psychology mind game are you trying to play here then? Because I know I've already put a money line bet in for you on Texas. So kind of the point of all of this is so now you can't name me a single big game. Actually, I can name you maybe one big game that Sark's won his entire career. And it's when he had Jake Locker at Washington and they beat USC when they were still okay. So you're telling me the man with one big win his entire career is going to go into T-Town and come out with a W? I just can't fathom it, Aaron. 52-1. It's going to be 52-2?
Yeah, it's going to be 52-2. I mean, I know it's hard for you to kind of wrap your head around it, but they're going to be 52-2 after this one.
But why?
Why? I think they're the better team. And I don't trust Jalen Milroe yet. People were just all of a sudden a guy that we were saying is going to be the third quarterback on this roster because of turnover issues a year ago.
But we also can't act like that's a legitimate point. If we said he was going to be third, that doesn't mean anything because, first off, I never said third. Tyler Buckner sucked. Tyler Buckner was never good last year. I thought it was always going to be Simpson or whatever. But us saying he's going to be third means nothing. You have to go out and compete for the job. And
you have to go compete for the job. 100% you have to go compete for the job. But based on what we saw last year when Jalen Milroe was playing football for Alabama at quarterback, it was nothing impressive against top talent. It wasn't. And then it looked
not nothing, right? I mean, he did rattle off a couple 75-yard touchdown runs against Arkansas like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So you could see the raw physical skill set. He turned it over a lot. To your point, he turned it over a lot.
He turned it over a lot. And I'm not going to say one game sample size against Middle Tennessee cured him, and all of a sudden he's a quarterback that takes care of the football, and he's some incredible thrower of the ball as well. Like I don't believe it. I really don't.
I'm not saying that either, though. I do think he's going to limit turnovers. I do believe that. I don't think he's an incredible thrower of the football.
But I got a fun stat for you too. I mean, you look at Texas last year. So let's just focus on Alabama offense versus Texas defense.
Okay, yeah.
Texas defense, which was pretty darn good.
Damn good last
really
year.
Yeah. And they're even better this year with the depth of their front four, front seven. They get some pretty good DBs. Look at the games in which they faced a running quarterback last year, from Kansas to TCU to Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped the quarterback run. None of those quarterbacks ran for over 50 yards. Jalen can't throw the football. I'm going to just focus on that side first before we get to why you believe in Quinn Ewers. Focusing on Alabama's offense.
Yeah. No, I got you. I think
run the football. Do you trust Jalen Milroe to win you the game with his arm?
The problem with that point is it's a point that sounds smart to dumb people. Because yes, Jalen Milroe is a running quarterback. But let's look at the composition, team game, right? 11 players on the field at the same time. You're going to tell me there's a lot of similarities in what 3 teams did you reference there? Can you give to me again?
But quarterbacks with more,
shut the fuck up. Give me the teams.
More experience than him. And I would say better quarterbacks.
Give me the teams.
Oklahoma State, who was 11th in the country, TCU, who was 4th in the country, and then Kansas, who had a hell of a year last year and a great quarterback.
TCU, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. Alabama, these are not. So you could tell me that, sure, they did a good job of stopping Lance Leipold's Kansas from running with their quarterback.
What did they do to Alabama's
What are they going to do with Nick? Again, that Alabama offensive line got their ass whooped. I am banking on the fact that, like I said off the jump, a more physical Alabama is ironically a more successful one than the finesse that they tried to engage in the last couple of years. Because you know why, Aaron? Texas is fucking soft. That's what you can't get through your head. I don't give a shit about talent. Well, you know, my old man always used to say, look like Tarzan, play like Jane. That's Texas. That's been Texas for years. That will continue to be Texas until they prove that wrong. They're soft as hell. They've done nothing to disabuse me of that notion. For a half against Rice, a team that was half their size, they look just as soft as ever. And the worst part is this Alabama team is going to be frothing at the mouth, knowing what's on the line. If they let soft ass Texas come in and embarrass them in T-Town, no chance. No chance.
I disagree with softness. They gave up 27 rush yards, 1.1 yard per carry to Rice. They're not soft on defense. You can say that about the offensive line. Like I was not impressed last week with the offensive line. I thought they were soft against Rice. But I'm focusing on defense. This defense can shut down Alabama's offense again this season. And then I look at Texas, and yes, the offensive line's going to have to play a hell of a game on the road, dealing with crowd noise, dealing against defensive ends that are pretty damn talented, that can rotate 2 or 3 deep. Like, that's going to be a problem. But I do love Texas receivers. I do believe in Quinn Ewers. And if they can get some big shots down the field and then possibly even take an early lead, I don't believe in Jalen, the most important position on the field. I haven't seen it from him yet. And I haven't seen it from the receivers yet. They're young at running back. We're just banking on the fact that Alabama's offensive line is essentially going to make every team this season look like they're a bunch of high school football players.
Wait, I just noticed something else about your Oklahoma State TCU Kansas point. TCU won that game 17-10. Oklahoma State won that game 41-34. So what are we talking about? They lost 2 of the 3 games that you referenced.
A quarterback from running the football.
Oh,
those guys had better passers.
Jeez.
I would
they gave up 37 to Texas Tech last year. Okay. We're gonna see. Obviously, we're never going to agree. So this game has to be played, and then we'll see it. You know what the dumbest part about this is? Once Texas loses, I'm not even going to be saying I told you so, because there's no shame in Texas losing to Alabama. None of my opinions on Texas come from them losing to Alabama. They come from them losing to Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, right? All these teams that they should clearly be better than, but are not. That's where I think Texas' ultimate sin lies. So when they lose Saturday, again, I'm not going to say I told you so because I don't. It's it's what's going to happen. It is what it is.
You'll find out.
And look, they can lose this game and still prove me way wrong. I'm more interested to see what Texas does against the rest of the Big 12, who they should be clearly better than.
Yep.
So what we didn't talk about Quinn Ewers though. You think Quinn Ewers can handle the Alabama defense?
I think Quinn Ewers can handle the Alabama defense. I think he's got plenty of talent around him. And I know there's a faith in Alabama's DBs, a couple banged up. I think a couple are going to be game time decisions. So that's going to be an issue too, that we're going to have to, continue to monitor how healthy is Alabama in the secondary. But it is just too hard. I don't care how good you are on the back end, because I've witnessed it from Georgia for the past 2 seasons. Elite defenses going against offenses that have 3-4 good receivers with a capable quarterback and put up points. Alabama did it. Ohio State did it. I think Quinn Ewers, this is his coming out party. And this is his chance. Like if Quinn Ewers wants to be a first-round NFL quarterback and to be taken seriously, this is the moment that he makes it happen. And if not, then shit, he's in trouble.
Well, and I'll say this. Last year against Alabama, he did look awesome for that quarter. What's crazy to me, though, is he looked so decisive. He looked so courageous. But every time I've watched him play since then, he's looked scared.
Yeah.
Like, he was so decisive and brave that game. And every time I've seen him since, he's looked indecisive and scared. Now, I know he ended up making some good throws against Rice, and you really like his Rice tape. So I'm not even judging that. I'm talking about we saw him last season. So we'll see. We'll see. Next up on the list, Texas A&M.
Who is the biggest pressure in this game? I would say I think it's Ewers. Ewers has to be the guy that this is the focal point. He's the one that decides who wins this game, who loses this game.
Individual player?
Individual
player. I would go with Ewers for sure. Everything. I mean, I would go with Sark in terms of individual human, but or maybe not, because whatever, they're going to lose Alabama. But yeah, probably Ewers has the most to gain, most to prove here. Texas A&M at Miami, the shit bowl, the toilet bowl, bad on bad. Who will prove to be less bad? And I mean, chill out as you shake your head, Aaron. They both had awful years last year. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe this year's end up better. My biggest question here, outside of for Miami, Mario Cristobal, what did you do to Tyler Van Dyke? And can you somehow find what he had 2 years ago? Still searching for it. So Tyler Van Dyke in 2021 threw for 293 yards a game as a redshirt freshman, 25 touchdowns to 6 picks, 9 yards per attempt. Year one under Cristobal, that goes from 290 to 204. 25 touchdowns to 10, 6 picks to 5, 9 yards an attempt to 7. And then you say, okay, well, how do you look against Miami of Ohio? Pretty good in some areas, a high completion percentage, but at the end of the day, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Whatever Mario Cristobal did to Tyler, he basically fucking monstered Tyler Van Dyke, where he took his powers. And the only way Miami wins this game is if he could somehow give him back.
I don't see him getting it back. I was not impressed with him last year. I wasn't impressed with him really in the first game of the season. I don't think this game's close. I think A&M wins by 2 scores. Yeah. I think A&M is the better football team. Miami's going to have to do something similar to what we talked about with Nebraska. Like, that offensive line, who did look good last week, is going to have to just dominate A&M, who struggled last year against the run. They were young last year in the front 7. I expect those guys to be better this season because of the playing experience they got last year. I don't necessarily think Miami's going to just be able to just lean on them and just run right through it. But to me, that's the only way they can win this game. Miami's going to have to rush for over 200 yards, dominate the time of possession, and keep A&M off the field. Because everyone keeps talking about, Miami has these good safeties. Okay, great. Those safeties aren't going to be covering all the talented receivers for A&M. A&M's 4 deep at the receiving position. 4 deep. Evan Stewart, Noah Thomas, Anaya Smith, Moose Muhammad.
Yeah.
And they got a capable quarterback this year in Connor Wegman as well. So, like, I don't think they're going to be able to slow down the offense enough. I think A&M's going to score somewhere in the mid 30s, low 30s, and I don't think the Hurricanes got the juice on offense besides the run game to keep up with it. And I don't believe in Tyler Van Dyke. I don't.
The only thing I'll say is that I did think that kind of hidden in the New Mexico game, there were times where I was pretty unimpressed with the A&M defense. I loved what you saw of the offense. So maybe you're right. I think that is the correct thing to highlight in terms of if Miami can pull it off, that's the path. I'm with you. I don't think they can. And if I'm a Texas A&M fan, get excited. Because for A&M, this is where Petrino and company can really start to convince people. Like last week was already good for Petrino and company because you at least proved that you weren't just going to like clearly fail like we've seen A&M do in the past and lose to lesser teams and look hopeless and just look clunky. And granted, they had injuries and everything else. But like Miami's defense isn't even that good, or at least I don't know. Last year they weren't that good, right? It's tough to say with only one game sample size this year. So like, there's actually no excuse not for A&M not to win this game.
Look at A&M last year in games where they were playing significantly lesser opponents. They won them besides the Appalachian State game, but even that's part of the whole equation. Like they vastly underachieved with the talent, and you saw in week 1 where they knew they were the better team, and they went out there and put up 52 freaking points. So like, this mindset of this football team, in my opinion, based on seeing what they did and who they have at quarterback, the coaching change right now, is more of that dog mentality of we're going to beat your ass because we know we're the better team. We're the more talented team. This is a top 5 roster in college football.
Yeah.
Top 5 roster.
That's fair.
Miami's still building.
They're going to be building forever, aren't they? I'm sorry. Look, I like the U fans have actually been great to me that I've interacted with online. So
really, you talk about Miami. They've actually been with you.
I know. They're like, whoa, what the fuck? Do we have to not like T-Bob now? And one guy was like, no, I kind of like this dude, but like he is talking shit. I was like, look, boys, I'm sorry. I don't want to be talking shit. I just kind of feel like the U's done, but maybe not. I at least don't think that Christopher Roth's the guy to do it.
What's it called when you enjoy watching someone bang your wife? That's what they are.
Cuckold.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of cuckold people, I guess.
I don't. Okay, let's try to work through this one. How? Because because they still like me despite the fact that I'm fucking them.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Look,
there's their girlfriend, their baby mama, and they're just sitting here taking it and just love it though. It's weird.
I think sometimes though kinks can be not for you, but I can understand it. And I can understand the cuckolding thing. There's something like taboo and like kind of forbidden about the whole deal. Like if you're secure in your relationship, like, I don't know, I could kind of see it. Again, I don't think I'm confident enough to be open to it, but like, I don't think it's like some sort of inherent character flaw if you like to be cuckolded. I think, good on you. Enjoy it, dude. It's all good. Maybe, I mean, general swinging has an element of cuckolding, and I feel like people accept general swinging way more than they do.
Yeah, they do.
So, good on you. I'm surprised, Aaron. I'm surprised in you that you would sit here in judgment of people. Who knows what sort of sexual escapades you used to get up to in Athens.
It is essentially what it is. I'm not judging anyone.
Brumley in our producer chat says people do not accept swinging. Hold on, then hop in here. Defend that take, Brum, because I feel like people are pretty like nobody thinks swingers are weird, even if it's not for them.
People absolutely think swingers are weird.
No, not in Atlanta.
No, you would never mention it. I'm sorry, I didn't hear
There
Aaron.
are known communities in Atlanta that everyone knows and just kind of accepted.
Yeah,
exactly. But it's not discussed because it's weird. No, it would never be like something you brought up at the first time you meet somebody. Like, you're on a double date. Oh, what are you up to this weekend? Yeah. Oh, we're going to our swingers party.
True, but what I'm saying is when you hear about a swinging couple, you don't judge them the same way that you do when you hear about someone being cuckolded.
Correct, but it does not mean it is socially acceptable to be a swinger.
I don't think it's that unacceptable. I agree. I think
it's clearly unacceptable.
I think I'm with you in that it is not something that, but then again, like, okay, is porn socially acceptable? Something that everybody does, but we never talk about it. Swinging's kind of the same way.
That's
like
a red herring, you know it.
No, it's not.
That's 100% red
No,
herring.
It's on the same scale. We've talked about this before.
The distribution and use of pornography is monumentally more than
absolutely.
Swinging. Absolutely. That's why it's a red herring.
All I'm saying, there are. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
I apologize to everyone who's just completely lost that this is a football show.
No. This because these are football concepts that we're talking about. Because again, is Miami like swinging or do they like being cuckolds? My point is, I'm fine with them either way, Miami. It's a safe place for you.
I'm saying people are going to be judgmental based on either one.
I think that I want, I whatever. Maybe Chris Paul's a guy and I'm wrong. but I kind of doubt it. And I do think swinging is more acceptable than Brum is giving it credence to.
I had one swinging experience, not with Sharon and I. This was my first year in the league, where I was in the middle. I was the fifth wheel on a date. We're sitting at the house. Everyone's been drinking, having a good time. All of a sudden, both couples kind of switched. The husband and the other wife went to their neighbor's home with their neighbors. He's like, I'm going to go walk her home.
Oh, separate rooms even.
No, like they took her to the other couple's house.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's kind of interesting to me. Like completely like so private swinging. I always think about being in the same room.
No, it was more private. Like, I'm going to take your wife to your house and you're just going to stay at my house.
So where did you go?
I just sat there drinking with the dogs. Just like, did I just witness what I thought I just
what? So that didn't end with you getting an invite to either house. Interesting.
No, I just got left there, just kind of hanging out by myself.
What a weird night. I have so many questions, but this is not the place to get into them. So back to football. Oregon at Texas Tech. Meh. I mean, not to be negative guy again, but like this is kind of indicative of a bit of the week 2 problem that I'm talking about here. Texas Tech pretty much took any excitement that was going to be found out of this game after shitting the bed against Wyoming. And I'm not going to lie, after watching Texas Tech last week, it feels like Brett Yormark kind of cursed them with the comments about like, take care of Texas and everything. I think Texas Tech might suck this year.
Mm-hmm. I just think Oregon is taking on a new identity with Dan Lanning. And this is a team that can win on both lines of scrimmage, can play really good defense. And if you've watched the show, you know how I feel about Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is an incredible quarterback, and he should be. I mean, the guy's played more football than anyone else in the country. I think he should by now. I mean, he's going on his 5th year of starting like almost every single game. So like
Jaden Daniels is right there with him.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like him going on the road
games of the pandemic.
Say, I ticked off Texas Tech team that wants to prove everyone wrong. Like that's not going to phase this team. This team is the better football team. They have an experienced quarterback. I think they have a hell of a coach in Dan Lanning, who's got the best tattoos in the game, which I know gives you confidence about the whole thing.
Sure.
They're going to run right through them. I mean, it would have been exciting if Texas Tech was good or won the game last week. So maybe we could have been tricked that this would have been a good game. But I think now we kind of realize, sitting back looking at it, like, Oregon's about to go there and whoop them.
Yeah. I think Oregon's going to fucking roll them. I don't think it's going to be close. And I think we continue to kind of undervalue Oregon a bit. I mean, look at the rankings. Where are they at? Like 15?
13?
Or something like that? 13? Okay, so they're creeping, but it feels like Oregon's a top 10 team to me. But we'll see.
Oregon 3-0, Colorado 3-0 at Colorado on the 23rd.
That's what we're talking about right there, baby. Week 4 is when college football is going to pick up. So hell yeah, I'm there. And the only other ranked matchup of the weekend, we got Ole Miss versus Tulane. I'm not going to lie here. Tulane looked great week 1. I love the quarterback Pratt. I don't know a ton about them. Otherwise, I mean, Tajay Spears was such a massive part of their success last season. He's obviously in the NFL now, but again, Tulane picked right. I mean, that was a good South Alabama team they beat the hell out of. And here's what else infuriates me about this game. Ole Miss, full stop. Ole Miss infuriates me because how are we supposed to know what to make of them? Last year, I fell for them, right? 7-0, beating Kentucky with defense to go into the top 10 and win it was something like their 13th out of 15th games. Like, it was crazy. 7-0. They finish 8-5, losers of the Egg Bowl, 4th in the West. Like that. So should Tulane go in and cover, or excuse me, should Ole Miss go in and cover and beat Tulane even to New Orleans? Yeah, I mean, I think they should, but I'm just so hesitant to trust Ole Miss after that last half last year.
I'm not. I'm how I feel about Ole Miss. And listen, Tulane's a really good football team, and I love their quarterback. Michael Pratt last week won an incompletion. This team wants to push the ball vertically down the field, and they got some legit receivers. I know they lost 2 guys, but Jaquan Jackson is really good. Chris Brazel, he's a freshman, 6'5", 195, and he can run. Yeah, Brazzers. Shout out Brazzers.
That's just a lazy joke on my point. I apologize. I at least could have worked it in some way instead of just yelling out the adult site's name. So that's on me. I'll take the L here, guys. I apologize.
The question in this game, yeah, we've talked way too much about sex in the show today. The question in this game is going to be that. I mean, you have an elite core. I wouldn't even put him like elite. Michael Pratt is elite. He's a really good quarterback with some talented receivers going against what the biggest question mark for Ole Miss this season is going to be. It's the defense. Is that defense improved with the new scheme, the new defense coordinator? We're going to find out this game. I'm not worried about the offense. I'm not worried about all. Quinshon Judkins had a nice little warm-up last week. They didn't use him a lot. He's going to go off for about 150 yards. Jackson Dart, stud. He showed it last week. He has taken the steps that we all heard from Lane Kiffin in spring and fall camp. Like, he's going to has a chance to be an all-SEC type quarterback. That's how good he is. They got the talent on the outside. Another big issue for Tulane, though, when it comes to that side of the football, Corey Pratt Jr., who may be Michael Pratt's son somehow, 15 tackles last week.
Okay, yeah, I don't think so, but continue. Yeah. It does not check out.
He was out. I mean, it was all over the place for this football team last week in their first game. Linebacker, you need all the depth you can get going against a high-paced offense. An offense that's going to want to run the football, and losing a talented linebacker in Corey Pratt is going to hurt this defense. There's a chance to be high scoring.
Well, I mean, look, it always hurts when you lose a great player, but I could also, if I just wanted to play devil's advocate for Tulane, I could say, well, Ole Miss was probably going to have a ton of offensive success anyway. Yeah, right. So, like, to just ratchet it up, sure.
If you get one more stop because you got your best linebacker on the field, that's going to be the difference, because I do think Tulane's going to be able to put up points.
I agree. If Ole Miss doesn't win this, though, then I'm officially never giving them the benefit of the doubt again.
No, you can't. They
need to win this game.
They have to win this game. You're the better team. Jackson Dart, you got this, big boy. Come on, Jackson.
And then finally, Notre Dame, NC State. This is one of those games that it's not a two-way street. This is interesting. It's like Oregon, Texas Tech. It's interesting from a one-way direction. I don't really give a shit about NC State. Burn my hands on the NC State pot too many times. Oh, they're going to win the ACC this year. Oh, they're finally going to be good this year. Never came about. Okay. So I'm kind of done with NC State. They're a good football program. I'm just done thinking of them as like the potential to ever be a great football program. Notre Dame feels like a team this year with the potential for greatness. We love Sam Hartman. They were basically perfect through 2 weeks, but perfect through 2 weeks through much lesser opponents. This is where the Notre Dame schedule actually gets pretty nice. This is an excellent next step in them continuing to build to that Ohio State clash.
Ooh, and now all of a sudden on that schedule is obviously you take care of business for NC State, Central Michigan, and then number 5 Ohio State, then number 21 Duke. So another possible ranked opponent for them if Duke continues to stay alive and look the way they did versus Clemson. So this is their first test. Like, listen, Navy was nice, and it was great being in week 0 and a lot of attention, a lot of excitement because of Sam Hartman. You took care of business. You look like you shored up the spot that held you back last year, the quarterback spot. They had a great defense last year, good offensive line, some decent skill. You had an incredible tight end, but you didn't have a quarterback. Now all of a sudden this team is, to me, watching them for the past 2 weeks, and once again, like, I know it's against lesser opponents, but you can still kind of feel the heartbeat of a football team. There is belief now that we have got the plug for the hole in the ship, and that's Sam Hartman. And now there really isn't major issues on this team. Like, we have a good defense. We have one of the best defensive minds in college football, Marcus Freeman. We're deep at running back. We got some skill at the receiving position, and we have one of the best quarterbacks in America. Like, they're going to be playing with a lot of confidence. And it goes back to what I talked about with Bo Nix. Sam Hartman's the same way. Has played a lot of football. I mean, he's getting close to 120 career touchdowns. This is his last go. He picked Notre Dame for a reason. Yeah. Because like, this team, once again, had the missing piece, which is me. If I come, we have a chance to win a championship. He didn't go to Alabama. He didn't go to other places. He went to Notre Dame because of that opportunity. So I don't think he lets them fall asleep this year, especially a game on the road against NC State. So I think went pretty good.
Brum, can you take videos out of our chat? Like, how easy is it for you to get that video that I just sent up there?
Not that easy.
Okay, never mind then. That's fine. There's just a very funny clip of Sam Hartman signaling in plays in which it looks like he's
a little smirk.
Yeah, you see him smirking. He's so good looking. He's got that kind of smirk as he's like, looks like he's jerking off two people. Very funny. I love football signals. So that'll do it. Okay, so I think Notre Dame rolls, though. I mean, NC State's fine, but I think Notre Dame rolls.
Yep.
That'll do it for this Snaps preview of week 2 of college football. And well, we also have NFL starting today, so that's pretty fun, guys. Your Chiefs, Aaron, taking back
no Kelsey. No Kelsey.
So that's official now. Out.
Yeah, he's out
this morning. It was still somewhat out. Okay, wow.
I was on a show the other night with Ben Jones, former center. He was doing his fantasy draft as we were doing the show, and he was all giddy because Travis Kelce was his first pick in the draft. I was like, oh, obviously you haven't heard the rumors.
Nah, that's fine though, dude. You just whatever. I don't actually give a fuck about fantasy football, so I don't care. If Mahomes gets this done without Kelce, without Tyreek Hill, I mean, then he just can't be stopped. So we'll see. A huge thank you to Adam Gracia, Danny Cardenas, Ryan Brumley, Pat Gunther, Chris Tran, everybody else who helps make this show happen. Christian Hunter. Every now and then, it was nice to meet Christian yesterday. The biggest of all, thank yous to everybody who listens. Thank you to Papa Colin, the volume, everything else. But again, guys, if you want to help us out, Google Snaps Podcast, rate it, review it, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, youtube.com/@volume snaps. Big plans this weekend. Aaron's coming to town tomorrow. We're doing a live show here from Saturday following the big noon kickoff. So it's going to be a very fun weekend here for the boys. And shout out to DraftKings for coming back on the volume, and then shout out Game Time. Remember, your fastest, best way to get tickets for whatever event you want to get into at the best prices. Download the Game Time app, promo code SNAPS, $20 off your first purchase. All right, y'all. Have a great day, and we'll see you Saturday for some more Snaps.